Good morning, everyone. Audio discourse definitely here and in effect. Sorry, I think I had something on my. Yeah. Hope everybody's cool. Don't know how many people are coming. Yes, my title is kind of strange. It's a playoff of two different things, a playoff of one YouTuber's title, but also a playoff of the color purple. Um, what Seeley said. Um, I'm going to talk to people about, especially if you have struggled with a low self-esteem or people making fun of you because of your height or anything really. Being dark skinned, being light skinned, being short, being supposedly eccentric, um, your accent, no matter what it is, no matter what context, just be who you are. You don't have to freaking cater to anybody. Be who you are. Seriously. And be who you are for the positive. If it's something negative, try to learn how to deal with that negativity in your life to where you could turn that and leverage it to something greater. And even if anyone's said anything bad to you, be honest about it. Don't do what people might say, oh, man up. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Manning up is being honest about how you feel about a certain situation. It doesn't matter. That's what you do. If you're angry, you express that anger, but try to be articulate when doing it. And try to be open to dialogue with somebody. And if they're not open to you, and you've already shown openness to them, then you just turn your head and shake off the dust from whatever they are all about. That's what you do. No matter what you are, no matter where you are, no matter where you're from, you're still here no matter what. And you have a lot to offer. Forget what people think. And even that's kind of a weird context because you don't want to be disrespectful. You never try to be disrespectful. But at the same time, if something is not doing right by you, you have to be honest about it, right? This is more of an encouragement for so-called misfits. People in society that most people don't particularly give a damn about or think, other, or don't fit in their little paradigm shift or whatever. Or that's not a paradigm shift because they're not shifting at all, but like just their paradigm stance. I don't know. How many people are in this live chat? I see 2 people. Yes, I'm outside. I'm usually in my car. It's the place that I get privacy the most. I want to know what you guys think about that. Okay? I know what it's like, dude. I know what it's like to be that eccentric guy. And you know what? I'm representing for those cats. Because I am that cat. Shout out to, the so-called educated lanes. Shout out to the Pookie and Ray Rays. Shout out for those handsome black dudes that every chick wants. Shout out to, all of the black women and men. But I'll tell you this. Shout out to all my fellow black so-called weirdos and punk rockers like I am. I'm one of those people that they don't consider black society. And you know what? I'm sure that there's some people that might deny black society in that regard. I don't, because that's what I am. I don't care if I have a different accent. I don't care if I have friends with different races and ethnic backgrounds. I know what the hell I am. Another thing I can't stand is fucking backbiting. I'm trying to not curse. I just did. But I hate backbiting, man. Backbiting. And even if cats come off, publicly, They don't know how to talk to each other. You know, we don't need that. We really don't. It's just I'm that guy. I'm the guy that has been called everything in that title, even on YouTube. Believe it or not. And it's cool. It is what it is. But I'm representing for those people too. I'm just one that'll dialogue about it. I'm not gonna hate anyone for it. You know, no use in hating anybody. And I'm not gonna turn my N-word on. No pun intended. I mean N-word, not the N-word. That seems like a good metaphor. On my own people, because there's some people that you guys talk about. I've heard people talk about black cosplay people and cats into alternative stuff. Keep in mind, a lot of these cats like don't want to talk to other black people because they've been rejected by black people. And it's sad. I'd sad on their part too because they've given up on every kind of dialogue. I have a friend, she got mad at me for something that I said on Facebook regarding even police brutality, and she's basically kind of like, it seemed like she was just kind of giving an excuse for that. I had to correct her. She thought I was mad at her. I'm like, no, I'm not mad at you. I just think you're wrong. But she's kind of like, black artist, alternative, like, lady or whatever. And I had to correct her. I think she's just been rejected and has been treated bad by even our own people. I'm not saying all of black society, obviously, but you got people that are just, they've given up because they're just like, I'm on the outside of this. I'm on the outside because nobody even accepts me for who I am as a black person that dresses and looks the way that I am. You're called ugly, you're called weird, you're called witch, all kinds of stuff. Even if you are a witch. I'm not. I have friends that are, but I'm not. And then there's the religious aspect of it. If you're a Christian, then you're a basic sellout. Even I've heard some Muslims and my Hebrew Israelite friends getting shit for it. Everyone's arguing over this. I used to be one to try to argue my point religiously. I don't do it no more because in the Bible it even tells you not to do that. Unfortunately, I didn't know that until much later, but I don't argue that point no more. Even the early Christians, if you study early Eastern Christianity, most people in America don't know anything about that. Basically, the early Christians, and in your Bible, it says that if you read that New Testament, if cats basically weren't accepting of it, they basically just like left and just like shook the dust off their feet, and it wasn't nothing. They didn't wage war on them like these damn imperialist idiots. They didn't have a jihad, and I'm using this in for Christians, not Muslims, because I'm not a Muslim, or a holy war against the land like these damn crusaders, so-called crusaders, because it wasn't a real crusade. Even other Christians died from being killed by these so-called Christians. A lot of my Orthodox homies. But it's like, I feel sometimes that there's this revisionist history that even like downplays the struggle to where it pretty much leaves out even black Christians, like not even fighting for our liberation. There's people of all different religions that have fought for our liberation. Christian, Muslim, Baha'i, you name it. All that stuff is ridiculous, man. Like looking down on somebody because of who they are. Even if we don't have the same path, my thing is this: I have to respect you for who you are. I'm speaking about this as an Orthodox Christian. I have to respect you for who you are. I might not agree with you, but I'm not going to spit fire at you. And no, not all Christians are sellouts. There's been so much, even with that religion, within the black sector, even more so, that has been a force of liberation with our people too. But people downplay it. You got a lot of conscious cat that they're totally anti-Christ, And cool, you want to be that, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because a lot of us did fight for our rights. Who's this? Oh, thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. I like the way I look, and I'll be honest, I struggled, like even the other day, like it was funny. I had a pickup. People hear my voice, they don't think I am who I am. And I don't care. I get it on both sides. Black people think I sound white. Other people, like this person, she's like, oh, you sound handsome, but you don't look like your voice. I'm like, what do you, I called her out, what do you mean by that? So it's like both sides, like, and as a youth, I kind of struggled, and then there's times even as an adult that, I have to admit this as a man, like, especially if you've had those rejections too, oh man, I got other stories. It kind of like you have to battle your own mind. Maybe some of you guys are that confident. Not all of us are. I am who I am. I'm confident in who I am, and just I don't give a care about what people believe I am to be, because I know my own self. If I didn't, I wouldn't do a lot of the stuff that I did all my life. You try being a black punk rocker in the late 80s and early 90s. It wasn't easy. I'm still a punk rocker. I just have a beard and a kufi on. I even wore a kufi back then, before I became Orthodox Christian, which is not required, but a lot of our monks wear it. But I wore it even before that, and I don't care. I'm a kufi wearing, punk rock, odd rocking cat. But no, guys, women go through it worse. You got a lot of women that think that they're, like, it's so bad, like, it could be the most beautiful woman and they think that they look horrible. I used to tell a friend of mine, really dark-skinned sister, she actually just told me to stop, like, complimenting her. I forgot she had a boyfriend now, so I'm like, oops. She thought she was ugly. I'm like, are you serious, dude? You're like a doll, man. But no, a lot of us guys struggle with that, even as an adult. We've done that, and just, I've gotten that. I still get called names, ugly or whatever. Not as much as I used to, but I like the way I look. If I didn't, I would probably be like all like cuddled up and I wouldn't show my face. And I'm not saying that against faceless YouTubers. That has nothing to do with this rant. I admire faceless YouTubers. I know why they do what they do, and I still listen and support them. But you are who you are. I am who I am. I don't hate myself. I don't hate what God made. I just hate the way that I'm treated. Like anybody else should hate the way that they're treated. That's why for me, when I see people, even though, like, I'm sure they have their issues with me because of our disagreements. Somebody like Chrissy, everybody gets down on her for talking about these issues of colorism and stuff. But no, you should be freaking listening to her, dude. Nothing's wrong with talking about, like, what you're going through. People need to hear that. That's the problem. People just want to, like, shut things out, and they want to blame that person. Oh, you're not confident enough. Oh, you're practicing reverse colorism. No, that person is letting you know what other people are going through, even as an adult. See, that's the thing. And I learned this a lot, even more so from, like, a lot of the monks in our church, reading their writings. You face yourself, you face the world, and you face the devil, the very opposing forces. You don't ignore anything, man. If you ignore it, then it just festers into this bubbling, like, sore, and that becomes the cancer. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. I believe that there is a black community. It's just fragmented, and just in my old humble opinion, it's a trip. I know I'm an outsider on this YouTube thing because I don't know if I necessarily fit with anybody. I'm kind of an odd duck, but I still, it's not like I don't see issues, and it's not like I'm completely alien to everything either, Even if you look at the movie Afropunk, we're talking about the same damn thing. I know the guy that did that movie, and he said the same thing. James said the same thing. We're dealing with the same issues, you know? That's so much BS. Yeah, it is. You know, I don't know, man. Like, I'm venting. Yeah, I am. I'm venting for a reason because there's some things that I said in my last live that became more evident to me now with certain people. And I ain't gonna blast those cats' names. It's a few of them. But I think I just gotta, toe my own line, and just let them and just, if I support them, it's just gonna be like, hey, like from afar. And I don't know, man. For me, I'll tell you guys this. No backbiting, dude. Backbiting sucks ass. No freaking, like, not listening to people. That sucks ass. No arrogant bullshit. Oh, I'm better than you. I'm more blacker than you. Or I'm more of a freaking advocate than you are. Or like, just cool. Nothing's wrong with being proud of who you are, but don't put somebody else down because they might not be on the same level as you are. Yeah. So I always want to do this too. Even the people that put thumbs down, I want them to show their face and tell me why they put thumbs down. I like that kind of dialogue as well. This shirt right here that I'm wearing is a catalyst to what could happen, in our society as a whole. This is a unity between, I don't know if you guys knew this, Ethiopia and Eritrea actually united. And Dr. Abiy, he's the new prime minister, had that happen. Not only did he have that, because I'm kind of in the Ethiopian community a little bit, our churches were really divided. I'm probably telling family business, but hey, you guys are fam too. Over some menial beef, he united Eritrea and Ethiopia, but he also united a lot of our churches. So we're all one, man. We're all cool. But see, that's just an example of what could happen in all of black society, not just a segment. And I like to focus on like a lot of those things, There are things that are happening, not just on YouTube, even though I see it, but also in society where we are being unified in a lot of ways, Let me read the comments. I can relate. I'm an oddball too. Peace, family. I appreciate that. A lot of us you'd be surprised, you guys. I've known some some black people that have just had it. They're like, man, you know what? Yeah, it's and this is how people talk about black coons. I don't like using any white supremacist origin word. I don't even use the N word. But I'll tell you this, some of these so-called black coons, which I'm definitely not, they've felt burned to the point where they've turned to the other side. I cannot do that. I'd be cheating my own legacy if I did that. But there's a lot of hurt, and you look at that, people like some black guy, that guy, I've only had maybe one interaction with him on Twitter, but I told him, I'm like, man, you don't even have to be like that, dude. You need to just recognize game and move on. Why do you have to be an alt-right, dude? People get on the cosplay cats, I'll be honest, knowing kids into that, all different races, especially black kids that are into that, a lot of it is just escapism. And unfortunately, some things are picked up on, I think that should be left. But at the same time, it's escapism in a lot of ways. My thing is this, what way are you showing them instead of persecuting them? I'm an old punk rocker. I used to be called, oh, you want to be white. Let me tell you something, because I know a bit of music history. our music pretty much, like, black people, if you want to say it, had a huge part in punk. I mean, I can go on and on about not just bands, but just music that influenced that, you know? And the punk rock subculture, even though it might be predominantly white, there's a lot of tribal looks that they've taken on that come from our society. So for me, yeah, I like the music. I like all kinds of different bands too. I don't care. It's creativity. Creativity knows no boundaries. And whether you're white, black, you know, Asian, whatever, and you play something that I dig, I'm gonna dig it. But I'll tell you this, with rock and roll, I know the origins, and it's the reason that I do the Black History of Rock and Roll, to show that I'm not too far off. People like Sun Ra, let me tell you guys this too. He was looked at, sorry you guys, as an oddball. One of the most conscious jazz guys ever. He was on some black conscious stuff before any of these jazz players, really. Before Coltrane, before all a lot of them. You know, into the whole comedic thing and all that. He was looked upon as an oddball because he wore makeup and, you know, comedic makeup on stage and in costumes and had light shows. The dude influenced so many different people, musically and visually. I'm a part of that legacy. And I don't see it as it's not a part of black society. I'm not gonna separate myself from that. But I know how people have felt, so I represent that. I'm odd rocker for a reason. You know, not just because of my oddball popping moves, even though that's a part of where that name comes from. Shanny Cat says, peace family. Liz Martin says, I can't stand those terms. It irks me to no end. Yeah, I don't use it. Tomax, hey, what's up, Tomax? In 10 years, people will be thinking hip hop is a white thing. Exactly. It's not. Shoot, I have all kinds of music. You guys see, even the kids that I have, you know, like that I'm around, I post them sometimes. You know, they're all different backgrounds, but look at all the black kids that are in there too. They're still representing. A part of me, you know, sometimes thinks that they have it easier than I do because it seems like more acceptable to look like that. But even now, you have a lot of cats that don't have it, you know. They're probably not being picked on or getting in the fights like me. You know, I didn't get into too many fights, but I got picked on. The last fight I got into was with a racist heavy metal dude, you know, called me the N-word, and that was it. That was what Joy DeGruy might call post-slavery, what was it? Post-traumatic slavery syndrome. He ended up on the floor, but that's another story. I don't like fighting, but I'll do it if I have to. Sorry for going off target, but yeah, I don't like using that word. I don't use the N-word, I don't use the C word. I use the term bootleg, but that's, you know, I think that's kind of our thing, or sellout. I understand that a lot of us need that identity, you know. We need something to define us, which made me, after studying our history, it made me less angry when people would think that I was trying to be white, because when you understand our history, you understand the context of defining ourselves and trying to actually just be on code, but to have something that's consistent. But the thing with black society, we are so progressive in the position that we've been put in. All of our culture seems young because we always create and then move on to the next. And if somebody doesn't fit what we're doing at the time as a whole, then they're looked upon as an outcast. I understand that now as an adult. The kid that I was didn't. So I would get upset. I would be bummed out about that. You know? But at the same time, for all of you guys that listen, that are listening and not really, and just kind of chiming in, notice this, especially if you're about this black unity thing, us so-called oddballs are here. And we're no less black than you are. Yeah, we're here. Sorry. Yumi Kumi says, hi family. I just came from a PTA meeting. What's the topic today? The topic today basically is just, you know, I mentioned it in earlier, like just kind of being that supposedly what people might consider an oddball, you know. I'm kind of random with my rants, but the focus is kind of that. It's based off of some things that I kind of experienced, it's, even on here, you know. Um, but yeah, I don't like to use the term different because everybody's different. We all have a different fingerprint, right? Um, but I'm basing it off of what people have told me or just vibes that I've gotten. It's like I'm the eccentric cat, you know, or just difference. Difference is everything, really. Everybody is different. Let me Liz Martin, you were channeling our ancestors to give him a wealth. Yeah. Hey, I just didn't think, and I saw red once my fist went forward. Everything was a blur after that. I just stormed out of the class because I was so angry. That was like in 1990, I think. Yeah, that was the last fight I got into. People still think that I talk white, but black people from the past spoke plainly. Yes, they did. My grandma was one of them. You know, hello, good morning to you, Miss Mahogany says, how are you doing? Hey, what's up, man? I'm okay. I'm cool. You know, how are you guys doing? I really appreciate this, you guys. But no, it's funny. I got the title. I think I explained it. Was from from a YouTuber that I kind of, you know, took it from, and yeah, for a certain reason, and I'm not gonna go into detail about that. But also, it was a playoff of Whoopi Goldberg said in The Color Purple when she was playing Sealy. You guys know that. But I'm here. The whole point is, yeah, I might be ashy, I might be short, you know, I might be eccentric, and I might even be ugly by some people's opinions. But I'm here, and you're here too. It don't matter who the fuck you look like or what the hell you look like. We're all here, dude. And we're doing our thing too. And you have to do your thing. If you feel down, don't let that stuff kill you, man. Don't let it bug you. You do what you gotta do. But don't do anything negative. Excuse me. Yumi Kumi said, I wouldn't want to be in this world where everyone was the same. It would be too boring to stay. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's a trip. Like, even before the whole punk rock thing, man, like, I kind of come from that stock. My mom has always been different, you know, like she's always been kind of a person that marched to the her own drum, you know. It just, like, I put it like this, I had the first high top fade. I had a high top fade before it was popular. And this is the lesson that I learned from this. I went to school, people started laughing at me, calling me Racerhead and Grace Jones. I actually didn't realize how Grace Jones was so cool until much later, you know. Even though I liked that song, Demolition, I just didn't want to be called anyone that wasn't me, especially a Racerhead at the time. And I went home and asked my mom, like, you know, to cut my hair. The next year I came back, everybody had the same freaking hairstyle. And it's why till this day, I don't care what anyone thinks in that regard. I started dressing even more experimental with my look because I'm an artist. You know, I looked at my look as sort of like a tapestry almost in my hair. And it got extreme every year. I got into a fight because I had one Converse on and one Converse off. You know, two different colored Converse, my bad. And I got into a fight for that. You know, people would come up to me asking me because I had my head shaved, you know, like, what are you, a girl or a boy? I had like my flipped hair, like I had bangs like a little, little black skater kid, but it was like my head was shaved. I was like a punk rocker, and I had the beads going on. I have my own way of expressing all that stuff. And to be honest, the whole punk rock thing kind of like helped with that because I was a lot shy back then. I was in the comics, I was in the music, you know, and I just didn't want to look like everybody else. I was bored, like, and it got extreme even more. I got flack, but I didn't care. Let me read the comments. You just got to be you. That wake up call for me at a young age in elementary was just like, don't care what anyone thinks. Most likely they're going to be doing the same thing that you do years later. And it's happened a bunch of times. Trust me. Let me read the other ones. You said, hey, Miss Mahogany, Miss Mo. Oh, yeah. Represent you guys all. Good morning. Annette, good morning to you. Annette. I'm reading all your guys' comments. Nah, I really appreciate it. Just be who you are. There's so many kids that are called ugly and all this stuff, and they don't realize like how much that affects them growing up. We in Black society have a thing where we just want to man up and not talk about these things and say that it doesn't affect you. You know what? For some it might not, but for some it probably does. And for those that it probably does, it doesn't mean that you mock them. You don't have to mock them. You just listen to them and try to encourage the best out of them. That's the whole point. You got to encourage them to be the best people that they can. We should be we should be what heaven is on earth. What we think heaven is, is it's funny. Like I don't usually teach Sunday school because I don't feel like I'm worthy to do it. But one of my older Sunday school students kind of nudged me. We need a teacher. Could you teach our class? I'm like, I don't know if I could. I'm going to church because I don't feel like, but I guess like, because I used to be a Sunday school teacher, believe it or not. I just don't see myself in the regard of of that, place all the time. But God always has a way of like pulling you to him, and I ended up teaching the class, man. But I was telling them, like God established basically us to be an example of heaven on earth. That's what our faith, as an Orthodox Christian I'm speaking of. I can't speak for no one else. We're supposed to be an example of heaven on earth. And I'm challenged to do that because sometimes I'm not. I know I'm not. I keep it real. I'm not holier than anybody. I am not. Hey, it happened to me. I wore a side ponytail and was bullied for it. The next year, all the girls are wearing it. Yep. It's the same thing, man. People are trendy. I'm not trendy. Fuck a trend. I'm me. I'm my own, like, person. I live outside of trends, man. One of the coolest examples of God is that he's outside of time. God is trying to teach us to be that way in a lot of ways. I'm not going to lie and say that I'm like that all the time, but that's one way I think I've kind of seen in that way that I probably am, And it's good to be ahead of time in that regard, but I'm still learning. Wow, August, long time no see. Last time I saw you was on the Angel Ramirez Jordan thing, and he blocked me. I don't know why the fuck that dude blocked me. It's weird, man. So if you talk to your friend Angel, tell him like, what's up, dude? What's up with the random blocks? I keep getting blocked, man. What the hell? What do I say? I guess it's just my presence. I guess it's just my weirdness, right? Hey, audio discourse, peace and blessings. Thank you, my brother. That's how I feel. Yeah, and you should feel that way. Peace and blessings to the chat. It's cool to see you, August. Long time no see. I know a sister is like busy. Man. Yeah, I guess it's my ashy lips, like yeah, I don't oil my skin. I wear body oil, but I don't oil my skin, like If you guys want a good deodorant without using deodorant, use myrrh and patchouli. That stuff is nice. I don't know if the women wear it, but if there's any cats, you know. But a lot of you ladies like that smell, man. People treating me like a scratch and sniff sticker. It's the odd rocker scratch and sniff sticker. Hello, August Dreams. Right on. Yeah, man. Seriously, you guys. Be who you are and be open to learn from other cats, man. You know, or just, you know, consider, I don't know, man. I just feel like I had a live stream. I think you were in it, August, like months ago, called Black Nerd Alienation. And I pretty much talked about a lot of some of the same stuff that I'm talking about in this one. You know, I don't know how many people are going to check that out. I just hope it helps somebody. Because the thing is, this exists even in our community. You know, the black community is the most diverse community and sometimes I feel like we don't realize that, you know, because of just what has happened to us. It's almost like we were kind of forced to be diverse because we had to try to assimilate, try to provide, you know, along with having our own creativities to have and to do, and just it's a complex situation. But then try to stay on code in a lot of ways. To be honest, a lot of us have tried to do that. There's certain things with black trends, you know, like I said earlier, where if the whole people are not doing that, then you're the outcast. Because it's like we were creating our culture from scratch. But it's like we created our culture in so many different ways that it's left all these different pockets. No, I don't even want to say pockets. All these different forms of creativity and different things, you know, that, how could I say it, that are either left or in some, it's like a bunch of different cultures. That's, I guess, what I'm saying, even within black culture. Yeah, man. It's a trip, and it's why, like, for me, I'm like this. I'm gonna be who I am. You dig me or you don't dig me. The way I talk is the way that I talk. The way that I roll is the way that I roll. I happen to have a lot of different kinds of cats that I know and deal with, you know, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe that there's a pecking order. But I'll tell you this, I'm one of those cats that believe that, you know, not every white person is a devil. But at the same time, I don't deny white supremacy either. And when I say that, I don't think that any white person is supreme over me. I say that in the regards to the legacy that they've built for their own selves that basically is defined by them thinking that they're supreme. It's a superiority complex that has become an interrupted reality for us as a people. And, you know, it is a reality for us that we have to fight against. And to be honest, some white people don't even realize, like, how much of a reality it is, even though a lot of them have had a participation in it. But I'm glad to have even received, like, some dialogue, basically, like a few people that I even know, they're all, man, we didn't realize how much of this that we've had a stake in, you know, and some of them are trying to figure out what they could even do, you know. No, I'm not caping for white people, but I'm just giving another reality that most people probably don't want to even consider, and I understand why. And I don't get on black people that don't want anything to do with white people, because it's the reality of the situation that we're in. But at the same time, because I work with so many different kinds of people, my community as well as other people, that I've been open to dialogue and see how we could do what we can to help. And to be honest, I've worked with even white people that have had a hand in some empowerment programs for even a lot of our youth. You know, white, black, Hispanic, everybody. So I guess a lot of people talk about worship black brown alliance. I'll be honest, I've experienced that. Maybe not in the way that other people have, but I don't know. I understand where people are coming from in that regard, and just as a whole, and how society is and how this pecking order is. But I guess I'm one of the ones that had that privilege to have that kind of alliance. Even the group that I'm a part of, the Sound Army, we're everybody. If you see the pictures of us, we're everybody. You know, we're a legion of so many different cultures. Some people might regard that as something small. I understand that, but it is what it is. You know, I don't deny things based on my experience. I'm listening and I'm dialoguing because I want the experiences that I've had to be more than what I see, or more than what many see, because I've actually seen it happen on at least my experiences. I can't lie about that. I'd lie and say if I don't. I'd lie and say if I haven't experienced that, because I have. Or is it? Our people have always had to move around in order to survive, Liz Martin has said. That's why our culture has so much depth. Yes, it does. It's black culture. It's a complex thing to even write about, and I admire all those that have. I feel like our history is so much, man, and in so many different cultural ways. Also within America, even so many different cultures. It depends on where you go, and even that's just scratching the surface. There's a lot, you know. That's why I don't look at myself as different than anyone, even though I am quote unquote different, you know, I guess. But I mean, I say this, who isn't, you know? I'm just expressing what I dig, you know? Like, everyone has a fingerprint, really? You know what I'm saying? Let me see this. Sorry. Ooh. Sorry about that. RBR Network. Come on, bro. There's more to life than how whites look at you. Stop that. Real Brother Radio, check this out. You're just chiming in. This is not about white people. I only mention it, and everybody knows that. I'm talking about how we look at each other. That's what this is all about. You can't just chime in and just like make a comment like that, because that wasn't even the subject, bro. Most of it is how we look at ourselves. If you really listen to everything that I'm saying, then you will know that. All of you guys that understood what I'm saying, please press 1. All of you guys that understood that's what I was saying, please press 1, because I wanted to make that claim. I only mentioned white people just now. I haven't been mentioning them at all. And even when I mentioned them, it was to say that, hey, I've worked with white people before in a community setting, you know, like just for what I do in where I am as a community. I've worked with black people. I've worked with all kinds of people, man, because we deal with youth. You know, we want to make sure that a lot of our youth don't get caught up. You know, so my thing is music, and that's what I work with, and that's what I do. I'm not the only one. Thank God I'm not the only one. I'm not a superhero, but I'm glad that I've had the parts of doing what I do. I'm blessed. I'm really happy. You know, 19 years of a game that God had actually given me. And I had no idea that I would end up doing a lot of the stuff that I have with this game. I've had kids come up to me, tell me that I was a part of their childhood, and just thank me for that, and just, it's so cool, man. It's like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm kind of overwhelmed, you know, like, I thank God, you know, because I know it's not just me, it's beyond me. But yeah, RBR, please get a clue. No disrespect to you, but please don't just come in on one part of the conversation and comment, because that's not what I was talking about, sir. Let me, August Dream says, we're learning to love ourselves It's a slow journey, but I think the shift is occurring. Yep, we need to. We have to. Yumi Kumi, more. It's more like we keep having to reinvent our culture. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about because others keep stealing it. I could understand that, but I think it's just because we're so creative, we just have a tendency to move on to the next. You know, what was popular maybe even a year ago isn't popular now, trust me. We're very progressive. It's why I understand what even people like David Bowie, of all people, that's a whole nother situation, will have the term young Americans because our culture is a young culture. Our culture is something that we actually had to make up. We didn't come over from on Ellis Island. Very few black people came over on that. And not even having a culture. We had to invent our own. You know, even though we have what my uncle, rest in peace to my uncle Skip, you know, we'll call Africanisms because it's inside of our it's inside of us. We have had to make with our own creativity from our ancestors and ancestral place because it's a part of our DNA. We've had to make up stuff on our own here. And you see examples of that in so many different ways, not just in art and music, but in a lot of ways, man. Things that people are just calling American now or Latin, you know, because that we're in that place too. A lot of that stuff comes from us as well, you know? Let me, shoot. RBR says, every black person on earth has been traumatized by racism, and it doesn't mean that whites are superior or that the system of white supremacy, it just means that they have racist DNA and hate you because you black. The thing is, I never said that whites were superior, sir. I said that. I already mentioned that. I said that they're not superior. I said it's whenever we say white supremacy, it's basically to call out their, you know, lame ass superiority complex that has superimposed on a lot of us. And it doesn't mean that, put it like this, I'm a creativity advocate, bro. I'm a creativity cohort. I believe in creativity, to be creative no matter where I am. It doesn't mean because I'm a musician. That means in every aspect. Sorry, I got cut off somehow. Hello? Hope you guys could hear me. Creativity basically means that you follow through with whatever is in your mind that's going to progress anyone and everyone in yourself. So I don't believe in white supremacy as something that is holding me back. I'm just calling out what has happened and the reason that a lot of our situation is what it is because of their superimposed superiority complex. And that's a choice for anyone to really support that, to support such a system. But it is a system, and it's something that we've had to deal with. But it never stopped us from creating, ever. Let's see. I better read these. Yumi Kumi says, it's not I hate white people, it's just that I love my people, and there's nothing wrong with it. No, there isn't nothing wrong with it. I didn't say that you hate anybody. Nothing wrong with hating your people or our people at all. You know, I'm just saying for me, like, people might take it because I work with so many different kinds of people as if I don't love my people. It's a lie, you know. Another Rainbow Push Coalition. No thanks, my brother. No, are you referring to me, August? I'm not a part of that. That's not me. And put it like this. Because I said this, it doesn't mean that I don't advocate. I'm an advocate for black autonomy. I think that we should get our own thing going. It doesn't mean that I'm like, oh yeah, everything's for everybody in that regards of ignoring our stuff. I just say this, I work with a lot of different kinds of people. People act like black people can't do both. You could work with different people and work with yourself. And plus, some of those things when you're working with people can be for your own community too. It's a way to leverage that. We always, I mean, there's ways that have even happened back then, but we We tend to be so focused on one aspect of history, we don't look at all aspects of history. There's people that have advocated for black folks that were non-black, and we've used those things to help us. Granted, those things are being taken away from us now. But the thing is, you can do that. You can be black first and also get things for you working with other people. I'm being honest. That's where I'm coming from, you know? People, it's like black people are not one facet. We're multifaceted. Most, if not, I mean, if not, how could I say this? Even people of different races are multifaceted. They might do things they might have a dollar circulate within their own community or whatever, for their own community, but there's no way that they can't they can't just do it on their own. They work with a lot of different people, you know? And if you want to talk about Rainbow Coalition, the truest Rainbow Coalition that I see was what Fred Hampton established. That's what I'm all about. He's my hero because of it. And just because he loved his people, but was also working with other people to get the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm getting behind on the comments. Oh man. RBR, you don't allow racists and white supremacists to define black culture. I don't. They hate us because we're black. I know you don't want to believe that, but it's simple truth. Whites have racist DNA. I'm not saying that they don't. I don't. Actually, you know what? To be honest, it's up in the air. I'm like this. We live in a system that has been established by that. And I told my white friends this too. You have a choice whether you're going to support that system or not. That's the thing. You know, and I have no problem telling them that. And some will it's a trip, man. Like, I just, you know, thank you guys for pushing number one. That racist DNA, like, is established, man. But some people, you know, to be honest, like, there's people that want to fight against that, and I know people that are fighting against stuff like that. But we still have to know game no matter what. Donald Trump has arrived. Trump is king. Donald Trump has nothing to do with this, and you're not Donald Trump. So, troll, whatever the fuck you are, you're nothing. You're obsolete. And I have the power to take your ass out. And I have the power to take your ass out. Which is what I'm going to do now. Bye-bye. Yeah, these devils watch our network. It's no surprise, because that's, if you guys saw that CTR or that crap TV thing that I did, either these people work for YouTubers, it's like a few troll accounts or one troll account with 6 accounts. That's what they do. Even a little baby YouTuber, even though I've been on here for a few years, like myself, they watch. Devils, man, I kid you not. Okay. RBR says, we look at each other based on 450 years of slavery, racism, and discrimination and oppression. 99% of black YouTubers have allowed racists and white supremacists to define them. It's self-hate, and it's the myth of white supremacy. Not a myth, my friend. I don't let anything define me. You see, you don't know me well. I think I subscribe to you. I did have some issues with certain things that I felt like, just with people that I know that are on this YouTube, that you kind of have done things in a negative too. I don't think that that's good, but I'm glad that we're dialoguing. I really appreciate you dialoguing with me, man. You know, and that's the only way that we could change things, to be honest. I appreciate you, man, for coming and dialoguing. And no, white supremacy is not my focus. I just call it out when I see it because I know how this system is and I know the history of it. My focus is creativity. It always has been, you know. And creativity basically says that you can go anywhere and do anything that you want. Destruction doesn't. Creativity allows you to progress. Destruction doesn't. Things that will need to be destroyed because of creativity will be destroyed. Being creative is anything. It's not just being a musician and an artist. It's making everything that you do a work of art. I've said that for years, even when I was in my band Create, which was named by, that was the obvious. So that's what I believe in. We don't talk much because I'm not really in the main circulation of black YouTubers. Most people probably wouldn't even regard on me. I'm in the closet sector of YouTube. I'm the cat that most people probably won't even listen to, or if they do, it's very minimal people. Unfortunately, I've had even a few negative experiences with certain black YouTubers myself, which is why I just feel like I just need to if I not even participate or even dialogue with them, unless they dialogue with me like you're doing. Hey, Trump is king. Take you're in a cult group. We don't listen to people like you, man. No matter how much you write, you're obsolete to us, dude. Like you're a flaming idiot. Trump is no king for us. We don't believe in your system, dude. We don't believe in your God. You go and worship your God somewhere else. He's nothing to us over here. Bye. All right. I feel like I'm getting. Oh man, I'm getting behind on the. Oh shoot. Sorry guys. RBR Network says the absurd notion that African history began at slavery. We've been in Africa for 8 million years, and before whites existed, we brought African civilization here. RBR. Not everybody believes that African history I bet you everybody on this chat does. I mean, we all know better. We talk about African history, even before America. We know that. Shoot, I mean, you can go, dude, I'll even shout out a few YouTubers that I really like. From Nothing is one of them. He talks about African history before slavery. Who else? Home Team. He does that. And so many other cats have done it. A lot of us know that, bro. Yeah, we know that. But when people mention white supremacy, I can understand for certain YouTubers that go on and on about it. I understand about that. But it's nothing wrong with calling out a system that is here that has had an effect on us. Again, African civilization was based off of creativity, just like all civilizations. Yumi Kumi says, I understand where you're coming from, but we can't help anyone if we're not together first. How are we gonna help anyone when we're broken? Self-love continues first, and the rest will follow. Put it like this: I'm not saying that you can or you can't. I'm just saying where I'm coming from. I'm in a situation where there's all kinds of different youths. They're all different backgrounds, and that's where I am. And a lot of our people are a lot of my students and stuff too. I'm not, how could I say it? We've been broken in a lot of regards, but it doesn't mean, put it like this: I'm not a xenophobic person. I'm not going to just be like, have my own enclave. I do believe that we need to help ourselves, but it's nothing wrong with working with other people to get resources to help ourselves too. You get what I'm saying? You can do that. And it's happened. I've been there. I've seen that. I've experienced that. But the thing is, definitely, I think both could happen. When I'm saying we should work with people, that's what I'm saying. It's for the resource aspect of it as well. Because it's harder to build resources on your own when you don't really have much. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. By allowing whites to define black culture, we are saying that whites are superior. I'm not doing that. System of black supremacy or Asian supremacy. There is no black supremacy or Asian supremacy, really. We have to tell them the truth. White people are not defining me, dude. That's the whole point of this. I don't care who the fuck you. Sorry for cursing. I don't care what anyone calls me or what they consider me. I'm still here because I define myself. RBR Network. The topic of today's show is how black misuse in social media is a perfect example, and we can't allow whites to define us because they hate us because we're all criminals, but not because we're black. Huh? Hate us. They hate us not because we're all criminals, but because we're black. I'm already aware of that. I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm kind of going out. I'm touching on that, but I'm trying to basically show you this. Not that I'm an authority, but just something that I feel the Most High has been dealing with me about. The focus is not white supremacy in this chat. The focus is basically us accepting us for who we are, no matter where we're coming from, no matter how we look, no matter what our thing is, you know? Unless it's just, you know, like basically we're totally anti-black, and that's a double-edged sword. See, and it's weird because some people might consider some cats anti-black because of the way that they look. You know, it's just kind of it's hard with us, man, to some degree. You know, because we're still defining ourselves in a lot of ways. We're the only race that is still defining ourselves. No other race is doing that. And I ain't mad at it. I understand why. It was no slight against you, brother. I'm just not for the cultural. We are the world when other cultures have joined in against us. And you know what, August? And that's why it's hard for me to explain my position, because a lot of people think that. A lot of people think that I'm saying that. I'm not saying that you should ignore the reality of what certain people are doing, but for the ones that aren't, I'm not gonna ignore that either. I can't do that. I'd be lying to myself. I'd be saying one thing and then practicing something else, because I've worked with people that haven't denied us. And I understand what you're saying by as a whole, but to be honest, even though I have experienced racism from different races and stuff too, you know, I can't say that, you know, that I've never had it to where I've had people that were down with me, you know, and that were supportive of even the work that I do. You know, I'm not gonna lie and say that I haven't. It's not a we are the world thing, because the we are a world thing, and I've talked to like a lot of them about this. And I've even, you know, I've stopped being friends with people that won't listen and understand that, because they won't get it. And they totally deny it. If you're in denial about that and you can't dialogue, forget it. I have nothing for you. It's more or less kind of basically the we are the world thing is ignore the reality of the things that we've gone through as a people. I don't ignore that. And I'm upfront with even people of different races about that. I've talked to them as well as I talk to you guys. I'm pretty upfront about that. My Facebook post could be a war sometimes, to be honest. But also just even in person, I've talked to people about that. You know, let me see. But August, please don't think that I'm like shooting you down, man. I really respect you. I really thank you for even coming on this, you know, and just even when I'm in other chats, talking to me, even though some of your favorite chatters have, how could I say this? They've rejected me and blocked me. I don't know why. That's another thing for all you black YouTubers that do that. At least talk to the person, especially if they had no ill will against you. I don't know why. I'm gonna say it, and it's not a slight against him. I don't know why Angel did that. That was just weird. I know he did it this time, because I went under a different account just to to dialogue, and he totally like blocked me. You know, that's just weird, man. I don't get it because I thought I was cool with him, you know. But oh well. Um, Let me see. We live in a diverse country. We live and work together. We're not a homogenous people. No, we aren't. And even though some people pretend that, you know, some people have this dumb supremacist thing, we've borrowed a lot from each other too. Yes, we have. The only difference between like us and other races too, they didn't have the same experience when it came to coming over. They didn't have to be integrated like we did. They've had their culture. They had to rely off of each other. They lived with each other. Even when you talk about African immigrants too, they've lived with each other and had to do it that way as well. We unfortunately were in chains. We had things to where it's a whole different history, man, and it's really complex to understand it. I need to write an essay and think about what I'm gonna say because it's a very tender subject and it's a heavy thing. Our situation is a lot different than any other than any immigrants, you know, whether it be from like the Ellis Island early 20th century or the modern immigrants that are coming over from anywhere. Our situation is totally different, and it's why they seem to be more on code, I guess that's the word, than we are, because they've come over and they've had those cultural things that they've identified with. We've been here and we've identified with our own things that we've had, that we've kind of made up, and also things within the dominant society. I hate using that term, dominant society, or the mainstream society. I don't know what you want to call these cats, you know. I'm gonna finish reading your guys' stuff. Oh, hold on, all right? I gotta go for a commercial break real quick. Hold on, don't go nowhere. Oops, hello? Okay, sorry guys, I had to go for a commercial break. Shoot. Where did I read that? People don't be fooled by whites who are setting the agenda for blacks. If we set the agenda for whites, if we set the agenda for whites, would we be setting an agenda for whites? Come on. The thing is, we don't have to set any kind of agenda for anyone but ourselves. That's the whole point. You know, it makes, that's what black autonomy is. Yeah, call it an anarchist term, but you know, especially black anarchist term, but that's what we believe as far as like just black autonomy is basically doing things on our own to and not relying off of anyone, you know. And of course, doing that does not mean that you don't ignore what you need to do as far as your work and stuff like that. You just take what you need to leverage it. And to be honest, I'm figuring out other ways to do it because, I mean, shoot, that's a whole nother story. Just to make it more prosperous for myself and for our community. I don't call it white supremacy. I call it white fascism, and it is white oppression. No group is supreme over another. Well, when I even mention the term white supremacy, I have the understanding of it as a white superiority complex, basically superimposed to enforce its rules in all areas of activity. That's what I think of it as. You know, No one is superior, and I don't think that they're superior over me. I don't believe any race is superior. I just think that they put theirs, like it's defined basically by when you have a system that's based off of fear and you put forth these laws based on that fear. That's what that is. And that's why I call that out, saying that. I say that in quotes, even though I'm reluctant to say it. No, stop the system, lie, the racism. No, that's not a lie. White supremacy is not in the system. It's in the racist and white supremacists. No, it is, because there's laws that have been used to enact that. And we have to strike against that. And also, those laws have created a pervasive attitude. So it is. It doesn't mean that it should stop us. It hasn't for 400, almost 500 years. We have a whole history of legacy resisting. That's why I look at that. It hasn't stopped us. We're still resisting. We're still fighting. We've come a long way. And let's not ignore that. People act like we're back in the 1800s. No. There's a lot of progression that has been made thanks to our ancestors. Nyla says, what are you talking about, bro? No. Nyla, you have to listen to the playback on why I said that. Thank you, though. I really appreciate that. I like the way I look. I've had people tell me that I'm ugly and ashy and all that shit. But no, I like the way that I look. But you got to listen to the playback. I'm taking it. I got to explain this again. I'm taking it from a title of a YouTuber, and also taking it from The Color Purple. It's kind of a play off of those words. I'm who I am. I like the way I look, man. I'm cool. Nyla says, I'm glad that you're here, Nyla. I dig you. You're like one of my favorites. Nyla says, oh no, Nyla's, where's your alter ego, Cynthia G? Okay, RBR, don't show my friends like disrespect, dude. Nyla is a friend of mine. Don't show her any disrespect, man. See, that's the thing that I'm talking about. We don't have to dialogue like that. She didn't come in here snapping on you. Why are you saying that, man? Like, leave her alone. Nyla's entitled to however she feels, man. You have promised that you can... No, it's not even like... I don't even get that from her, man. I don't know why you're saying that. Me and Cynthia G don't agree on a lot of things, but I'll show her the same respect. Come on, none of this playground bull crap, dude. Why are you starting in on her like that? I don't want it. RBR, stop, dude. Seriously, man. Oops. RBR, you stop acting like a little... Okay, I'm gonna let you guys say that. Yeah, man. You know what, RBR? Seriously, we don't have to go there. Nyla, see, the thing is, I'll tell you guys this. We're all going for the same goal. We're trying to empower each other. There's so many of us, we have a lot of differences. And that's the whole point of even what I'm saying in this whole podcast or whole cast. We're all different, but we all have the same goal when it comes to our empowerment, from what I've seen. Nyla, she does, man, in such a short period, this woman, she has a lot of things that she shared that has helped me, like, seriously. And we don't always agree with the same thing, but she's cool about that. She doesn't like freaking like, clown cats unless they clown her, and I don't blame her. I don't have a problem with that. I do the same thing. But don't disrespect her right like that, man. That's my friend, dude. Seriously, you just coming on here. RBR says, I'm listening to you, but the fact that remains 99% of black YouTube are pushing this white... No, they're not. Put it like this. What they're saying is basically this. There is a white superiority complex that rules this country, let alone the whole world. It's not that they're saying whites are superior, dude. It's saying that this is the thing that we're dealing with and that we have to struggle against. And also, they're not saying that blacks are not weak. At least from where I'm coming from, at least it's just something. It's a reality of our situation. You know. Thank you, August. I really appreciate that. RBR, we don't have to. We don't have to argue like that, man. Please, come on, man. That's why I did this. We all have a. Here's the goal. The goal is we all want each other to prosper. The goal is we all want each other to be self-sufficient. That's what black autonomy actually is. It's not just an anarchist term. And I'm not just saying that because I kind of lean that way, even though I kind of don't. I kind of do and kind of don't. I'm saying that because that's a reality that I feel needs to happen. I think to start the small channel goals. Oh, Yumi Kumi says, I think we need to start with small goals and work our way up. We will get there soon if we don't give up. The thing is, Yumi, check it out. We've already started. We're working, but we just can't stop working. We're doing the work. A lot of us are, believe it or not. Call me an optimist, but a lot of us are still doing the work. But the thing is, I guess we're trying to we're trying to define ourselves. We really are. And I understand it. We should always define ourselves. But the thing is, let's not define ourselves away from each other, especially of those that might not fit into what people might consider, the typical black person. If they're an advocate and not like a freaking sellout, like certain people I won't mention, then let's dialogue and listen to each other. August Dreams says, RBR says, we pay respect to Audio's channel by telling the truth. We have no problem with the myth of white supremacy. It's no disrespect, honestly. Whites are not superior. We're not saying whites are superior, sir. We're not. I'm not saying that at all. And to be honest, it's a con. It's a myth, but unfortunately that myth has fucked everything up. It's a myth, and I would say a neurosis that many of them have. That's what it is, a freaking brain rot. You look at all these Trump cult idiots. These cats are wearing a fucking red hat in their little like beige, pants and shit. That's just one aspect of it. And of course you got all these any white I usually say white supremacists. That's my term for that. I'm just trying not to curse in this thing, but yeah. It's a myth and a con, but it's a myth that unfortunately has had an influence in reality, and that we still need to fight. I like the think tank dialogue here. That's what this is for. RBR net, we don't need to attack anyone as Audio is conducting his live stream. Yeah, dude, Nyla, if you're here, please, I am so sorry. RBR, Nyla is my friend. I talk to her on YouTube and off YouTube. She is my friend. I respect her a lot. I really admire her. And, don't disrespect my friends, dude. Seriously. And she's not saying white people are superior. I don't think you really listen to her, man. I don't think you listen to Nyla at all. Nyla, if you're here, I'm so sorry. Really, I don't want you to be scared away from my chat. I was so glad that you're here. Liz, yeah, regularly scheduled program. RBR, oh man, no. You know what? Put it. No, Nyla says, and them and Angel, all black idiots. No, that's disrespectful. Pushing this white. No, You don't listen to them. And I'll tell you this, even with the disagreements that I've had with certain YouTubers, um, and even though like I feel like I think Angel probably is not cool with me for some reason, I'm not gonna say that about him. These guys put their hard-earned um, time into educating us a lot, and I've listened to them. You know, don't go there, dude. They're not saying whites are superior at all. If you're just getting that, then I think you're just cherry picking and you haven't really watched a lot of their content, because they've never said that. Yeah, RBR, come on, man. We're both from LA too. Come on, you know better than that, bro. Come on, dude. RBR, I was actually speaking of you attacking Nyla because of your issues with Sinji. Don't use Nyla as a proxy to go after Sinji herself. Yeah, don't do that. Nyla is cool people. I don't know Sin, you know, and I don't agree with a lot of her, but I'm not gonna diss Sin like that. Even in the few, like maybe 1 or 2 videos I did on her, I didn't disrespect her. You know, cats don't listen, man. Like, you don't listen, dude. No audio. We are monolithic in that we're all black and we have 8 million years of African DNA in us. We all have the need to survive because society doesn't survive if we don't. Who doesn't have a need to survive? That's innate. We talk about black survival all the time, you know. We don't, nobody wants to be gone. I understand. Nyla, thank you, Nyla. Don't leave. I'm so sorry. Like, really, man, I feel bad. RBR, August Dreams. Again, you don't get to call constructive criticism an attack. Nyla knows damn well she doesn't hate black men as much as Sinji does. She just goes along with it. No, man, Nyla is a strong, independent person. She can speak for herself on that. Come on. Nyla says he's weird since he's emails. Wow, I'm so sorry. RBR, come on, man. Dude. I mean, you're making these comments about us saying that whites are superior, but you're totally like criticizing people as if you're superior over them. Come on, man. I'm trying to dialogue and listen, and I'm not trying to blast you, but please don't disrespect my friends. I'm serious, dude. You know? Like, I don't want to seem like I'm attacking anyone, but still, dude, like, I think that's not cool. And plus, if you're sending her emails like that, you know, one of my other friends who I won't mention because I don't want to put them on spot, you've done the same thing to. And to be honest, I'm surprised that you're even at my channel because it's just so small. And I appreciate you, but I don't appreciate you disrespecting any of my friends in here. You know, I don't think you really listen to what Nyla has to say. And even if you did, you can agree to disagree with whatever she has, man. She's really respectful like that. She's always been like that. She's not gonna blast you unless you come for her. I don't blame her for doing that. I'm sorry, Nyla, if it seems like I know you don't need anybody to like speak for you, but I just feel like, you know, RBR, you're wrong, man. That's not cool, dude. RBR, start your own live stream and address these issues. Oh, thanks, bro. I don't think people have to agree to work together for the same thing. Thank you. Nyla hit it right there, and that's what this whole freaking live stream was about. It doesn't matter how you think I look. It doesn't matter about anybody's background. If you're willing to work together for that common goal, that's what matters. You be who you are, as long as it's nothing destructive, you know? And if you're down to work with people and dialogue with people, you know, and show your advocacy for that. That's what matters. Us as black people really need to do that. I feel like sometimes I'm not in authority seats to say anything, but that's what needs to be happening, man. And it needs to be respectful. Put it like this. If the parliament over in Europe could do that, you know, these guys have actual Nazis, National Front motherfuckers on the parliament, dude. Like, I mean, like that Le Pen guy. That, you guys know who the National Front is? That's a Nazi organization, dude. And if they could have people that are in the parliament like that with other cats that have nothing to do with that, how come black people can't? Not to say that I'm not comparing us to any of them. That's totally has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that's though there's different groups within a parliament. How come we can't have that? Not to say that anyone's on that Nazi bullshit. None of us are. Yes, exactly. Yes, Nyla, it's acknowledging a system. It's acknowledging a system of a superiority complex, of a ridiculous superiority complex. It's not, we're not praising them. And I understand where T West, people like him will say it's whiteism. I've gotten into it with him about that. I'm like, you have a misunderstanding of what we mean by it. But a lot of it he you know, he talks about the roots of where that origin came from and how we started using it. But we're using it based off of what they've established in the regards of to call them out on that stuff and to also battle against that. Hey, RBR, don't call my friend an idiot. Don't you dare. I'm warning you, man. Please do not call my friend an idiot. There is no name calling. This is the first time you've come in here and you've disrespected two of my friends, man. I mean, come on, dude. You should really apologize to both of them, man. Especially, that's just not cool, man. Yeah, don't call her, and she's not an idiot. Oh, wow. This is what I was talking about. And if you heard what I said earlier, RBR, Real Brother Network, that's what you call yourself, you would notice that I was saying we shouldn't have to argue with each other and call each other names like what you're doing right now. Dude, you're like around my age calling people names like that. August did not disrespect you at all. Come on, dude. Come on, man. I'm sorry, August. I'm really sorry. No, you don't understand the word disrespect. You called her a name. Dude, no one said anything against you in this post. And to be honest, you're getting all this stuff out on this post, man. You haven't talked about them individually. I mean, you haven't talked to them aside from that. I don't know what they've done to you. And to be honest, August doesn't even have a freaking, you know, she doesn't even like have her own channel like that. And from what I know about Nyla, unless you've come for her, she doesn't do anything to you. I know her better than I know you. And even not like personally, but I've had more interactions with her. Hey, August, you know what? I understand why you say that, but we don't have to go to that level, you know, like, but hey, you have every right to defend yourself too. Annette says, audio, I could hear you speaking on RBR Network live stream. Why is that? Huh? You can? Wait a minute. Does he have me on his live stream? Annette, tell me what's going on. I didn't know that. Don't worry. That dude is crazy. August dreams, no, if you agree. RBR, why am I on your network, man? Dude, like, what's the deal with that? I'm serious. Wow, and is he playing his live stream on this channel? You know what? You know what's gonna happen? You're just gonna give me more people, but I don't respect that. I wish that you weren't doing that because I don't. I'd rather just talk to my own audience, man. Like I don't know. Like you didn't even ask me to do that. That's kind of disrespectful. And I'm trying to be nice. Seriously, dude. Could you please take me off of your network, RBR? If you want me to come on your live stream sometime by myself, I'll come on there and dialogue with you. But I don't particularly care for what you're doing right now, sir. Please. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's really no, he didn't get my permission. Come on, RBR. What are you doing that for, man? Like seriously. How okay, RBR, take me off of your network, man, please. And I'm not misusing anything. You came in halfway through a conversation that had nothing to do with what you were talking about. You made it about white supremacy. This thing had nothing to do with that. This broadcast was basically about how we view each other as black people in different segments of black society. Please take me off of your network, sir. You're making a narrative that isn't there. And that's very disrespectful. How old are you, man? Seriously, how old are you? Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. I would ask you, hey, is it okay if I broadcast this? That's not cool, dude. Really. That's very disrespectful. Man, Nyla, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna settle this once and for all. Oh boy, I can't believe this. That's just really disrespectful. This guy, man. Ugh. I disagree. I think you are sincere. You're being honest, but Angel and Tariq and Cynthia G, Dr. Boyce are pushing this system of white supremacy lie, and it's wrong. I don't think that, dude, I listen to them. And to be honest, like me, I probably disagree with Sin the most, but I still try to hear her out too. And I don't disrespect her at all. I can't stand when people make fun of even the way that she looks. That's just stupid. But I've already explained to you where they're coming from. And if I could pick that up, come on, dude. It's important to me because of Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal and diatal birds, dinosaurs went extinct. And yes, they want to survive. But dude, could you please take me off of your broadcast? I really don't think that that's cool, man. I really don't. Like, I'd rather, if you want me on there, I'll come on and do a hangout with you. But I don't want just some cat, like, randomly. Like, I don't mind my numbers being low because I don't have to, I've only dealt with very few trolls, you know? And plus I have my audience and it's cool for who they are. Yeah, but if she didn't want to see the picture of you and your daughter, man, like, that's personal. I'm sure she has a personal life too. Zekno LP, hey, shout outs to Peter, please. Hey, Peter who? Peter who? Are you on the... You got to mention, like, do I know this Peter? Which Peter are you talking about, man? Talking about Peter from Wailing Wall? Death Rock Peter? I think he moved to Arizona if it's the same cat. I haven't seen him in person in a long time. What do I know you, Zekno? Yes, Annette. I forgot what you were saying yes to, Annette. No, it's different to say that it's a superiority complex than to say the system of white supremacy, because it is a system. It's a system that, very clever, I have to admit, but it's a system that survived through laws and pervasiveness because of those laws. But it doesn't mean that we can't overthrow it. I hope Hitler isn't your friend. You'll be saying that I disrespected him. Um, is George Zimmerman your friend? Why would you ask that? None of these people even have any connection with George Zimmerman or Hitler. I've come face to face with freaking like kooks of hazards like that believe that ideology. Unfortunately, and my friends have nothing to do with that. I don't like to name call, but I'm not going to allow. Yeah, you know what, August? You don't have. I mean, and please don't leave, man. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have anybody disrespect you. And August, I wish I could email you because it's hard to get a hold of you otherwise on here. I think I tried once. Man, I'm so sorry, you guys. RBR, with all due, just as a thing to be respectful for, you should never come on a stream if you don't really know what we're talking about, let alone record like the person. If that's on some like kind of agent provocateur type stuff, man. I don't appreciate that. Out of respect, I know you're from LA like I am. I'm trying to be cool with you, dude, but I don't appreciate that, man. This was not to be a debate. This is not to be a debate. This was to be a dialogue. I wasn't planning on this to be a debate. I usually don't do debates. You see my comment section, it's pretty bloody at times. So you know what? I'm just going to end this right now. Yeah, I have an email address. It's audiodiscourse@gmail.com. Also, if you guys want, check out my audio discourse music at gmail.com channel. It's on here. And my friends, my drummer's YouTube channel is Voice Waves. He does a lot of news type stuff. He actually had me on for his. If you guys want, I'll even post that. I did an interview about the LA riots with one of my other bands from the band Create. We did like sometime last year. Dang, that was a year ago. And I still have other stuff coming up. I've been kind of like, time has been crazy. But yeah, if you can, August, it's audio like ODDIO at discourse. Audio discourse at gmail.com. You wanted me to define disrespectful? Disrespectful is this: not thinking about or caring about. I mean, I don't even have to define it. What you did was disrespectful. You came in, you made comments that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. You insulted two of my friends, and then you're recording me secretly without my permission. That's disrespectful. That's not respectful at all. If I wanted to record someone, I would ask them. I don't know why you're recording that. I don't know you that well. It's just not cool, man. It's not cool. And this is not a debate. And I'm trying to be nice. I really am. Because I believe that you have something to say too. We could all dialogue. I understand you don't want black people to fail. You don't want black people to think white people are superior over them. I get that. And I agree with that. But that's not what we're saying. When we mention even talking about white supremacy, which this was not about, I only mentioned white people in one part of this. And it had nothing to do with supremacy. It was actually talking about the white people that I know, that I've worked with to even get resources to help my program. So, not to say that I need to rely off of them either. That's the whole point. You don't. But I'm just saying, we could practice black autonomy, but we could also get certain things with working with different people. Nothing's wrong with um everyone does it to us. How come we can't do it with them? And everyone comes together in a business way anyway to get resources to help each other in that regard. Or even if they don't help each other, but it's just kind of like to help their community. Everyone gets everyone gets resources, to help what they need, and that's one way of working together for people that are kind of. I believe that people anywhere could advocate for you, no matter what race they are, and that's just me. A lot of people do not agree with me on that. No, I appreciate the truth. I just don't appreciate disrespect. I respect people. I appreciate the truth a lot. But don't record me, man. Don't call my friends a bunch of names. Come in here with respect. Be respectful. I haven't called you any names. I haven't insulted you. I'm not recording you on your live streams, and I've seen them. Anyway, if you can't get what I'm saying, I'm not going to explain that to you. It's obvious. It's more, Stevie Wonder could see what I'm talking about. The thing is, RBR, we're not saying that whites are superior. We're saying that there's a superiority complex that has run a number on us, and that we need to resist that by empowering ourselves. That's what we're saying. Anyways, I'm gonna be out, you guys. The whole point of this is sorry. The whole point of this is basically this. No matter where you're from, how you look, be proud of what God made. And even amongst us black folks, be ready to dialogue with people that are down to dialogue with you, no matter where they're from, no matter how they look, even if they don't fit the typical, black person. Anyway, God bless you guys. I hope and pray the best for you. Peace. Exhiber Yebarkachu. Thank you. Thank you, August. Exhiber Yebarkash. I'm speaking Amharic. Means may God bless you guys. That's what I'm saying.